Thursday, May the 4th, 2023, and I'm back down in Oxted, Surrey, to undertake a 12-miler. Last time I was here 6 months back, I did a country walking magazine 9-miler, but today I'm re-walking a Saturday Walkers Club walk, which is in need of redoing because last time I did it, it was affected by rain and didn't get completed properly. So I'm hoping today to be able to do that. It's 20 to 1. So I'm late today because the train that I wanted to catch, as usual, was cancelled. So I'm running about an hour behind, but hoping to be done by around 6:15. Bit of a grey day with a reasonably strong easterly, southeasterly breeze today, and that was a problem for me because I've been trying to locate a walk that wasn't badly affected by the wind, and that's proving difficult. My original intention was Faversham, but that was too breezy. So let's see how this one goes today. So this is, like I say, free walk 63, Oxted Circular. Let's press on and see what awaits. Passing through the street called Johnsdale, and the bunting etc. is up for the coronation this weekend. Having just crossed the busy A25, take Old Lane and follow the bridleway just off it. It's a lovely old sunken lane. The railway line on my right here passes into a tunnel shortly. Now briefly following the Greensand Way. Now entering Limpsfield Common, West Heath, taking the leftmost of two options here, i.e. not that way. There's the old song thrush to greet us. Unusually at this time of day, I would say, but it is a grey day at the moment, so that would explain that possibly. And as you can see, pretty dry underfoot, this being greensand. The written instructions, which I'm still following to a degree, seem to differ to the GPX track, but there's the depression with the mountain bike or MTB bike area. On my right at the moment, I'm still on the Greensand Way. I would just add that this walk was last walked in 2010 again, so 13 years back, and we have a balmy 18 degrees today. It's quite amazing. Weather's all over the place at the moment, and it's good to see, landing on my camera as I speak, a hoverfly. Talking about dung poles last week, but hoverflies are quite scarce, as you'd likely guess as well. Used to be so prevalent in my youth. This isn't a great bluebell wood, but there's a little patch here, and they're now definitely on the wane, unfortunately, because for me that signifies the passing of my favourite bit of the year. Only a few more weeks to go to the longest day. Very sad. Passing the former St Michael's School. Google that if you wish to learn more. St Michael's School, Oxted presumably. Should get you the answer. Very gothic looking building, fantastic. That school could equally have been at Limpsfield, by the way. As you can see here, I'm quite lucky today. The wind, or breeze, strong breeze, has dried the paths out pretty quickly. And talking of footpath maintenance, the tree that I reported 2 weeks ago near the River Wey was fixed by Surrey County Council, where I am again today, in a matter of days. Reported it on the Saturday and it was being dealt with on the Monday, all via what 3 words, again highlighting that that system works, and I had no problems with them at all in making that report. In fact, I've actually praised them for responding in the way that they did. Unlike Hertfordshire, who are still resisting reports in that way, even though I've sent them I've sent them the Surrey example to highlight that the system works. They're just being pig ignorant. It's ridiculous. All I'm trying to do is report footpath issues in a manner that suits me. I think the next stage will have to be the Ombudsman, because it's ridiculous and discriminatory that they won't accept or won't action reports on what 3 words in the same way that they will do via their bureaucratic website. Shocking. Exiting Stoneswood Road, passing Paynes Hill Chapel, and then take the footpath immediately next to it. Bit hazy there in the distance, but otherwise a fine view of the low Weald. And again, this bit of the walk I do remember, funnily enough. Following another sunken lane alongside Tenchley's Wood on the map. Wonderful vista here, which I do recall as well. As you can hear, pretty breezy. Hopefully that's not interfering too much. We go through this gate on the left as opposed to downhill here, which is another walk I do recall. About 400 foot up here. We do have a high point of 705 feet today at somewhere on the path. Yeah, as forecast, it's getting a bit hazier. The sun's hidden now, but still a pleasant walking temperature. And that's a path that I've followed previously, coming up from Tenchley's Manor on another walk. The path I've just left wouldn't have been here back in 2010, because apparently it's quite new, per the notes. Very handy, mind. So at this juncture, 3-armed finger post. Take a sharp left here. View back from a point near Quint's house. And as you can see, getting more overcast now, unfortunately. Bit of Gatwick jet noise as well. Quint's house, appropriately enough, is a cookery school now. Not sure that was the case in 2010. approaching the Carpenter's Arms pub, a possible lunchtime stop, as it's now 2 o'clock. Westerham Brewery Company. Information panel here about the Limpsfield Way and the community cycle route. It's a 45-mile circular, if you want to research that one. So at this juncture here, we leave the Greensand Way, following this direction left. Lots of conservation work going on here by the looks of it, as we pass a large pond which is fed by Yalden, Y-A-L-D-E-N spring. Yeah, as you can see, even the bridge is new by all accounts. I certainly don't recall this. Not much evident life in it at the moment, mind. It's a plan in action by the looks of it. So there you go. A little bit of Latin there. Britus Unculus. So at this juncture, don't take the footpath on the immediate left, but take the ride just beyond it. Yeah, you've got some mature pine trees in the background, but just in front of us now, some fresh new birch growth. Wonderful. Very gloomy and lifeless in that pine wood. What a massive loss, eh? All our ancient woodlands ripped up for the sake of commercial forestry. I was reading the other day somewhere that I think ancient woodland only now accounts for about 2% of the woodland in our country. And even that is, I think as a total, it's below 10% now, woodland coverage. No wonder this country is one of the world's most nature depleted, if not the most nature depleted countries in the world. So at point 20 of the text, you've got two options. You can either continue along the top of this field edge next to the rape, or walk into the woodland. So I'm going to take the field edge walk for the views, seeing as I've been doing quite a lot of woodland walking today. And there's the kind of vista you get. The rape is in full aroma. Albeit that this variant of the walk is a bit breezier. Very pleasant property down there in front of Lodges Wood on the map. And I'm approximately walking this in a clockwise direction today. It's kind of circular, but not really, albeit it ends up at Oxted again. Around 6 feet high, this rape on my left, so does obscure the view a bit. Now entering some woodland on the Squerryes estate, SQUERRYES. As I usually say, you can always get information for these walks by googling the walk title or putting the walk title into a search engine of your choice. So as you can see, we've entered Kent now, where I expect path maintenance to deteriorate again based on previous experience. Just crossed over the Green Sand Way here, having come through the wood over there. About 450 foot up here. Westerham ahead of us, and lunch. Chiff chaffs everywhere. Not much in the way of swallows or martins today. I haven't seen one. Amazing, eh? Nor heard a cuckoo. This, by all accounts, is the very infant River Darent. So here we are in Westerham with the Georgian Dragon opposite there, the recommended lunchtime stop. Statue here on the green commemorating the Major General James Wolfe, died at the Battle of Quebec. Also a statue here commemorating the life of Winston Churchill. As you can see, the marquees are set up for this weekend's jollies. Entering the polling station at St James's. And I certainly won't be voting today, as the bells hit 3 o'clock on the button. There is a seat there, but I wonder if I'll find any better positioned ones, quieter ones. I think this is the first walk I've ever done where the church is being used as a polling station today. But like I say, I think it's going to be a very low turnout. People are just cheesed off with the whole lot of them, I think. Just my humble. Okay, 3:30, lunch has been had. Thanks here to Bernard and Dorothy for providing the seat. And from what I've seen today, there's certainly going to be a good turnout here, contrary to what I thought. Surprises me, actually. So this is St Mary's, Westerham, and there are too many people in there for me to film, unfortunately, so I won't. Decent vista from the entrance of the church. There we go. It's a difficult one to get in totally. Information panel here about Westerham. So that is Westerham, as I'm just about to leave it via Water Lane. Voila. And here's why it's called Water Lane. I wonder if this is part of the Darent again. Very ancient little bridge there. And yes, this is the Darent. And look how dry it still is. Former riverbed there. So even though we've had a pretty wet winter, already Looks like we're going to have drought problems in keeping with the climate situation. So having come along that path before lunch, we are now proceeding along this path through Squerryes Park. Yep, we're in Kent. Wouldn't get that in Surrey. Very pleasant section of walking here, particularly when you're accompanied by a song thrush like that. Wonderful. Got the river on the left accompanying us. The old style referred to in point 30 of the text is no more. Maintained very well by Kent. But not to worry, as the metal field gate referred to in the same paragraph seems to be permanently non-existent now. Point 31 of the text, first style of the day that works anyway. Wonderfully isolated property over there. Now walking through the woodland of Crockhamhill Common. There's a blackcap in the bush on my right here, or there was. Looking back down the valley whence I've come. Fantastic, eh? Even though it is a bit overcast. Very pleasant section of walking here across Crockhamhill Common. Mixed woodland, predominantly pine though. And this path has been nicely cleared and maintained. So I'm guessing we're back in Surrey. Right, I'm at point 33 of the text. And it's a tad confusing here, because if you go that way, sort of slightly left, you're doing a longer walk via Chart, I believe. Whereas if you go right, I think that's just the bog standard main walk, and you go to section L. So that's what I'm proposing to do. Certainly don't want to be doing 14 odd mile today, seeing as I'm already an hour behind. Okay, got a 5-way junction here. Here's the oak tree. So second on the right must be over there. There's the finger post. That looks like straight on to me. Consult the GPX. Okay, the path 30 metres on to the left here, off this main track. So it wasn't the one I thought it was, straight ahead. It is kind of second left, right. But there is a finger post just hidden in the tree here. There. Interesting bracket fungus out at this time of year on what looks like, what is that, an old pine? Don't know. Looks like a soft bark of one. No other pines about though. Odd. Greensand Way joining from the left here. And as you can hear, the Gatwick noise is building up. So at this juncture, it would appear we do a left here, leaving the Green Sand Way. Just crossing the busy road here with no pavement on it, but there's the fine views on the left referred to in the text. And I must admit, seeing those cattle down there, I was rather expecting to encounter more today, but I'm not complaining. Certainly seem to remember more being in a Weald in previous years. And then just before you enter Surrey, at this property called Greystones, there's a footpath marker which we follow. Wonderful views from this property on my right, Greystones. Wow. Just over here. Pretty decent, eh? So we're now following the Tandridge border path, which is a new one on me. Coming off the driveway. Very pleasant walking at this time of year though. Different kettle of fish, sort of November to March I'd say. Even into April this year. Been lucky today. The old school referred to in the notes. .69 of the notes, that is. And in fact it's turned out to be a better afternoon than I anticipated. I was expecting grey cloud after lunch, but it's been much better than that. And this has been a very good walk with the wooded element predominating for a breezy day, so pretty pleased about that. Now following a section of the Vanguard Way, as we did last week, down at Seaford. Crossing over the busy road again. St Andrew's Limpsfield, with its porch dating back to 1896. And its church hall once again being used as a polling station today. Diocese of Southwark. Some restoration works going on here by the National Trust. Wondered what all the bare patches were. This is all just in front of the Carpenter's Arms pub, which we passed earlier if I remember correctly. But I didn't notice this picnic table here. So if you want a mid-afternoon cup of tea, you've got two options. Bring your own and have it at the table, or go in the pub. .77 of the text, having just passed the buildings of Lombard and Farm, now come out into open country. Follow this path to the left now. 10 miles down, approximately 2 to go. Now taking this bridleway into Ridlands Grove for yet more woodland walking. It's really been good for the kind of day I'm having today with the breeze. You know, tree rats. Well, by all accounts this is Hedgehog Hall, but it's unmarked at the moment. There she blows. And 50 metres further on, or 50 yards in my case further on, Peter Rabbit's post office. So that tells you all you need to know what that emanates from. Information panel here about ancient woodland at Ridlands Grove, and interesting to see there a quote from Sir David Attenborough, which shows how recent this is, I guess. Ancient trees are precious. There is little else on earth that plays host to such a rich community of life within a single living organism. Yeah. Cowpats may be a pretty strong contender. Now walking alongside a golf course, very pleasant amongst the trees. Walking through a belt of trees with the fairways on my left and the buildings of the golf club on my right behind this fence. The wooden seat referred to in point 82 of the text, as we continue on alongside the golf course here. Views to the North Downs from the bench referred to in point 83 of the text. Just below me here. Now entering the suburbia of Limpsfield. Here it's High Street. Passing the village store with its nicely decorated post box. Passing the Bull Inn, Limpsfield. Decent views from Limpsfield as we head towards Oxted now for the finale. And the old song thrushes are very active at the moment. Wonderful. A couple of blackbirds in there as well. 12.7 miles, 5 hours on the button. Lovely walk, and the heavens have just opened as I've finished. And here's my train. All's well.